Well, it's another live show. Hello, everyone. How's it, Shane? Good to be back. Good to be live again. Good to be on the show. A new week and everything's going great. Let's get on the go and let's see what's happening and let's go. Don't forget, most traders lose money. If you're unsure, you probably shouldn't be trading. Let me get the risk disclaimer out of the way so we can actually see what's going on. And let me get my picture out of the way as well. Hang on a sec. Which one is it? Getting confused here. Put it down in the bottom corner here, out of the way. It should be small enough, I think. Perfect. Right, let's go and have a look at the charts and see what we got. Boom, 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 boom. Brent crude oil going back up again. Close shave. US dollar, Canadian dollar going back up again. S&P 500 seems to have stalled a bit. CHF JPY bounced off of here. I thought it might go short, but it's bounced and it's gone up. Look at this. This is actually quite interesting, the CHF JPY, because I drew a strong resistance across the top here. And look at that. It's moved. It's gone up to there now. So there we go. Still a strong resistance across the top there. But that's a big bounce. That's a strong bounce, man. Heavy stuff. How's it, David? Elaine, hello Elaine. Sorry, I saw your comments this morning and I actually forgot to answer them. I will later on. Good stuff. I just had quite a busy morning, been running around doing stuff. The DAX. I think I called this as trade of the day today, and I haven't traded it. The DAX looks long to me. Looks like it wants to go to the upside, but it is pretty much at the top, but it broke through this resistance here. You'll see sometimes I draw them as a line. It's just easier than sitting here drawing all the rectangles and stuff. You can see that's a clear resistance. And then just picture it in your mind with a bit of space around it. It gives you an idea. But yeah, there's a level here that it's broken through. And it's just coming back to retest it on the trend support and the normal, what is now support. Looks like it wants to bounce to the upside. A lot of people would look at the DAX and think, ooh, that's expensive. But, you know, only as expensive as the market wants it to be. David, you're in fully, right? Yes. Dum, dum, dum. Shane, a bit cranky today. You were in profit and now you're down 5%. That happens sometimes. You know, you get those weeks. We've all had those weeks, haven't we? Let's have a look at our trades for today. Not looking too bad. The Brent's up, the US dollar CAD's up. I was going to trade the S&P 500 again, but I just want to see if it'll come down back down to this gap here. Give us a little bit of sort of movement down to this level and we can buy again. That doesn't look too bad. Euro, Great British Pound. Yesterday we called it short. And it's going short. There we go. There she goes. Down to the doldrums of whatever. Yeah. So last week, Thursday, don't forget, we actually had a winner. Look at that. Fund Your FX giveaway winner. Jason Dela Cruz won a nice two-step skill 10K account here. Next Thursday, we'll do it again. Fantastic. Basically, just take a comment and we do a draw. It's great. Absolutely marvelous. I hope he's enjoying it and it's working for him. All of these prop firms at the end of the day are basically the same. And like I say, once you make a profit, grab your money and run. That's always the best way to do it, eh? Don't sit around. Yeah, if you leave your money in a normal brokerage account, if you've got that kind of money, I hope you do have that kind of money. It's kind of the same thing. Keep your money in the bank, guys, and then take your profits. And if you decide on the size of a cash account, then keep it that size. Don't let it grow and grow in the brokerage account. Take the money out and put it in the bank and leave the brokerage account the same size until you decide you want to change the size of the account. So if you decide you're going to trade on a $25,000 account, a $50,000 account, Don't let a $50,000 account become a $70,000 account, just leaving the money there. Take the $20,000 out and leave it as a $50,000 account. The money's safer in the bank. You probably get more interest in the bank anyway, than from the broker. So unless you want to take that money and specifically put it in investments, like a proper investment account, or buying shares, for example, and add to your investments and that sort of thing, that's also a good place to put it, a better place to put it than the bank. But leaving it in a trading account, a broker's trading account, is not the best idea, guys. It's really not the best idea. Let me just have another look at Brent. How's Brent doing? Okay, so we shot all the way up and we went into this level. And yesterday I was looking at it and thinking, do I sell this now? Don't want to, because my target's way up there. It needs to break through this level because it's a supply level and it's pushing me down again. So I just moved the stop loss up into profit and to cost, and given it a bit of both, bit of space, and I'm hoping that it will just break through this level and head up onto target, because Brent isn't looking the worst. And this is about the third or fourth try on Brent this month. How many trades have we had on Brent? My goodness, incredible. Let's have a look at the history on that, on Brent. Just want to see how many Brent trades. Oh, it's only the one showing here, I suppose. But yeah, and even that's green. But before that, I had a couple as well, and they just didn't work out. At the moment, a lot of people are having a lot of frustrating trades, and I think it's a lot to do with just the way that the politics are being handled at the moment, and the way people are reacting to the politics at the moment, and all these tariffs and the things going on, and today they say this and tomorrow they say that, and you just don't know if the moon's made of green cheese or blue cheese. It's kind of all over the place at the moment. You just don't know what they're going to say next. So one day it's up and next day it's down. Just when you think, oh, everything's doom and gloom, then it goes well. And then it just when you think everything's well, it starts going doom and gloom again. Something comes up. So it's just shifting around a lot. The volatility is good if you're trading, but sometimes it can be a headache as well, especially if you're looking for some kind of direction in the market, because just the volatility at the moment is a bit too extreme in some cases, and it's affecting the analysis. Let's say if you look at a chart and you see how things work, and the way things are going at the moment, it's just a bit all over the place. It's a bit of a mishmash. So that becomes a bit of a headache. What does gold do? Gold. That's what I looked at this morning, yeah. Gold, I was looking at it as a bullish trade, and I was thinking, well, it's bouncing off of here. That looks really great. It's bounced off here a couple of times, so it's a reasonably good support. So it looks like a great long trade. Looks like it's kind of trading in a range. But then I just drew in this little trend resistance to see if it'll break through there. If it breaks through there, it gives us a bit of confirmation that it's changed direction, it's broken structure, and it's heading to the upside, because it's created this little structure here. And although it's hit support, it looks like it might, let's just see if it breaks up and goes. And then that'll be a good gold trade. Hi, Coral. Sir Lunchalot's here. How's it, bud? Yep, it's all about the psychology and the risk management. This is just high probability trading. The risk management's what it's all about. Yeah. Shane, there was somebody else, or a couple of people in Australia that were on this show a couple of times, but I can't remember who. We'll probably find some people in Australia. I think it just depends, Like, for example, this week hasn't really been a big week for a bad week for me. My 100K account's done really well. This account, I just took a couple of trades for us, and it's not in a bad position. Brent and US dollar CAD looks okay. So, no, I don't know. It just depends what trades you take and how you look at the market. And like I say, it's a 50-50 game. So no matter what you do, the market's always going to be a 50-50 game. You can say what you like or do what you like. It's always going to do that to you. You can literally take a trade on the flip of a coin. You can flip a coin, say heads or tails. Heads I'm going long, tails I'm going short. And then you just have to apply the strategy. But nobody feels comfortable taking a trade that way. I don't know anybody who would feel comfortable taking a trade that way. Who does that? You know, you're only comfortable if you feel like something's in your favor that's going to work out for you. You know, you don't go into any kind of sports game expecting to come last. You're kind of expecting to come first. So, you know, you don't do anything on the flip of a coin. So while you could trade the market on a flip of a coin and just apply the business plan and the strategy, you don't really want to do that. You want to feel like you've got an advantage, you've got an edge in the market. And that edge comes from systems that are put in place. All of these systems work. And that system says to you, there's the line in the sand. We've drawn a line here. There it is. There's the line. And when it touches that line, as long as it stays above that line, you can buy. And that makes your psychology more comfortable that it's a long trade. If it goes short, you're relatively disappointed. You're thinking, but why did it do that? It should have gone the other way, but that's why it's a 50-50 market. And it's 50-50 because you're trading against other human beings, you're trading with emotion. It's always going to be like that. It doesn't matter what fancy system you've got, how you trade, where you trade, how long you've been trading, how good you think you are, how bad you think you are. I've seen the best lose it all. And the shock and awe on their faces is the interesting part. You know, when they've been so confident for their entire career, their entire trading career, and they've been making so much money, and then they blow it, and they can't believe it. Well, that's how it goes. It's a 50-50 game, and that's the danger of trading, especially overconfidence. Overconfidence is one of the most dangerous things you're going to come across in your career as well. When you become overconfident, you'll feel it in the beginning when you win 5 or 6 trades and you think, nothing can touch me now. I'm the best trader in the world. And the 7th trade says, oh, really? Take that, son. And then you learn. But most people don't, actually. They don't learn. They go back to the 8th trade, they win another 5 trades, and then they get hit again. And there's a lot of these guys out there that will do extremely well for a long time. Then suddenly that big whack. And the shock is the amazing thing to see. And the good traders are the ones that understand it. The good traders are the ones that work their way through it. And the good traders are the ones that expected it to happen. Okay. Coral. I took the gold trade yesterday long. Coral, the gold trade yesterday long, it's excellent. You know, I like it, Coral. I like it. Like I said, no, I like the gold trade. Me personally, on all my accounts, I haven't taken it. I was waiting for it to just break through this. It's a little line. It's not an important line. It's a little, you know, trend resistance line, and I'm just waiting for it to break through there and see what happens. But yeah, no, interesting. Yeah. Shane says, yeah, he watched Nick Sean's video. I know that he had a video recently that I don't normally watch the other guys, but I had to watch that because he did the random number counter, I think you call it, trading. I only watched the first 2 minutes, unfortunately, but I found it quite good. It's quite, I must say, he's right. Totally right. So right about that. But no, I didn't watch the whole video. Sorry, I should have, I suppose, but I don't have time. But yeah, no, it was. It's totally, that's how it is. That's how the markets are. When I saw that, I just quickly had a look at it to see what it was saying. But yeah, he's quite right. It's random. The market's random. It's always going to be random. Systems are not going to make you money. Any strategy can make you money, and you've got to have some form of risk management and some form of strategy as to which way the market's going to go. And that's why I say to you, you can literally take a trade on the toss of a coin. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just that human beings need an edge. You need an edge in the market. You can't trade without an edge. It's insane to think you can trade without an edge. It's psychological. It's not about factual. It's not about, oh, the system gives you the edge in the market. What gives you the edge in the market is your psychology telling you you're going the right way. There's no guarantee. If you take this gold trade, you go into this gold trade and you take it long. There's absolutely no guarantee that it's going to go long. No guarantee whatsoever. Look at this. Bullish, run, down, up. Comes down, bounces off there, goes up, comes down. So because it's done that before, we're looking at the high probability that humans are creatures of habit, and this is going to happen again. And it's going to do exactly the same thing again, because that's what we believe. And then if it doesn't, then we're in shock. I said to you, some of the biggest traders that I've seen that have failed, the shock is the amazing thing. People do not expect to lose when they're very confident and they know what they're doing. But it happens. People lose. People take losses. Even in normal business, normal daily business, you open a factory, you've got all the best laid plans of mice and men. You've written out the business plan, you've taken the loans, you've got this business running, you've got I don't know how many staff members. There's nothing in your brain that's telling you you're going to lose. Why would you do that if you're thinking you're going to lose? You're planning to win, man. You're planning to win. And the whole reason that you're planning to win with that factory is because you think you've got an edge, because you believe that line, that resistance line is working in your favor. You're above that support level and you're going to go up and you're going to start this factory. And it's exactly the same concept. Your psychology is telling you you're going to be successful. So then when you fail and you're not successful and the business goes down, I don't know anyone who's not in total shock. They're like, wow, how did I go wrong? What mistakes did I make? It's just normal life. If you reduce things back to simplicity, you'll notice that when I show you guys how to trade, or I show you guys how I trade, or how these things work, I always bring it back to simplicity, because simplicity is where it all is. The more complicated you get, the worse your trading is going to become, and the more you're going to lose. Don't overcomplicate things. Keep it as simple as you possibly can, but then psychologically you need to look for the edge, so find the edge in that simplicity. David says, to be honest, folks, when I go back, study and look at my trades that went wrong, compared what I did to my strategy, I find I slipped up somewhere, sadly. Morning, Daniel. Good to have you early. How's it going? But cheers. Pretty much, David. That's pretty much the case. Normally, when we go back and look at where we've gone wrong, 90% of the time, probably 99% of the time, you'll find that you've broken a rule somewhere or made a mistake. Look, rules are made to be broken, and we have these gut feels when we're trading. We think, if you look at that, you think, maybe, if I take that trade and I do this early, it's going to work out for me. And then you break a little rule. Later on, when you go back and check why you lost the trade, it kind of makes sense as to why you lost it. And, if you do what Daniel says, you only trade what you see in front of you. Another way to look at that is, like I said to you, bring it back to all the simplicity that you can. Take it back and make it as simple as you possibly can. And then your trading is going to be that much easier. And when you go back and look at it, you'll find you're getting a lot more trades right than wrong. But the way things are at the moment in the world with the politics and the way things are going, I mean, let's just go and have a wee look here. It's going to take us to the news here, and I think that's it. You know, the way things are going in the world at the moment with all these tariffs and all the noise and what have you, it's going to affect the markets one way or the other. So even if you do everything 100% right in your trade, and this is why I call it 50-50 as well, you're going to be upended by some news article. Okay. I mean, yesterday, for example, there was euphoria because Trump and China got themselves a little bit of a reprieve. They worked something out on the tariffs, and everybody thought this is amazing, this is great, and it pushed the markets up. That is not something that you can expect or call for on the charts, but the charts were in its favor. They were going in that direction, and they're going in the right direction. Now some people are calling it fake outs and all the rest of it, but that news moved the markets. You know, if you only trade fundamentals and news, you can actually do a lot from it as well. But we see the news in the charts, and the charts actually bounced. They actually ran quite well, and it's because of this. Now, US stock futures slip as trade truce euphoria fades. It fades off. People start to think, you know, maybe not, and then what's going to happen next? And it starts to fade off, and then the rally, as they call it, fades off. You know, something like this is quite concerning. Japan's Honda forecasts 59% drop in forward year in profit as tariffs bite. I mean, are tariffs causing that? No, Honda was already in trouble before this tariff story. I mean, Honda was talking about amalgamating with Nissan, who's also in big trouble as it stands at the moment in the world. So this headline, you know, you got to watch the headlines. Japan's Honda forecast 59% drop in forward year profit as tariffs bite. Tariffs have got nothing to do with Honda's 59% drop in profit. They were always going to have a 59% drop in profit. The company's in trouble. It's insane how these people write these headlines. And you know what? All the economists are going to buy into this now. As I said to you guys during earnings season, tariffs have moved the markets. We accept that tariffs have bounced it up and down like a netball. But by the same token, the companies are going to produce their results, and their results are always going to be what they were going to be. They've been doing the trading for a whole quarter, and in some cases a whole year or a whole half year before releasing these results to you. The tariffs aren't going to change it now. That's the results from what happened, and what might change is what happens in the future. Goldman Sachs cuts US recession odds to 35% from 45% on trade truce optimism. So yesterday they said they're going to have a trade truce. Goldman Sachs says, oh, wait a minute. The US recession won't be like as bad as we thought. It'll be 10% less bad. You know, I can only laugh at fundamentals sometimes because it's insane. Nissan to suspend operations at some domestic plants as part of restructuring. You see, Nissan's already in trouble as well. And I love reading the headlines and seeing what they say because, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to us. It's kind of neither here nor there. By the way, guys, the guys who are supplying the funded account of these Fund Your FX instant funding, you can get instant funding here. The account that the guys are winning is a 2-step challenge account, but if you want a funded account, these guys are there. I've left links in the description as well, and for the other one as well is still there as well, so you can get that too. These are the trades of the day today. I don't know if you noticed, I did bring out a weekend video, trades of the week, that you can go through. I noted it as the S&P 500, but it's a little bit of research on the weekly trades. Not many people watch it, but if you want to see that sort of thing, maybe I'll try and put it out every week and give you guys a little bit of information on that. So yeah, the as I showed the guys, the winner last Thursday was Jason Dela Cruz. He did really great. 2-step skill. There's his account, and he's the first guy to get an account, a free account. That's fantastic. I'm glad he's got it, and well, I hope he's got it. But yeah, it's nice to get something for free, eh? Always nice to get something for free. Let's see if we can find our charts on here again. There we go. And we can go back to that. Yeah, so that's the news, guys. Yeah, it's always the same, nothing changes. And then let's just have a quick look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gone insane again. It's shot all the way up, and it's gone all the way up to 103,000 again. Why didn't I buy it at 70,000? Probably because I'm adverse to Bitcoin and I don't trust it. But yeah, there you go, straight up. Bullish run, so bullish. Let me just take, do we need this here? Actually, this should be up there because there's another one there now. And if I look at Bitcoin, very bullish. It looks like it's going to come back to 100,000 and bounce and carry on up. Amazing. Actually, I don't invest in Bitcoin. I don't trust Bitcoin. I think crypto is fresh air. But wow, look at that chart, man. Look at that chart. You can't argue with that chart. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Where was I? Let me have a look. Thanks, Daniel. Daniel, no, just let Trump speak on TV, then you see sparks fly. Yeah, I noted that, Coral, that stop loss, moving your stop loss out a little bit in times like this is not a bad idea. I started doing that as well. And it helped the trading a little bit because the stops were too close. Yep, you can only trade what you see on the chart. Yes, Daniel is... When you say just outside of Cape Town, where Rob is from, the Western Cape is a really big area. You can travel a good few hours from one side to the other. I'm on the West Coast. Sorry, I know there are one or two people who live in Sydney that I would love to meet and greet, and trading sometimes can be lonely. Sometimes, Shane, trading is always lonely. It's actually, for all the years that I've traded, it's been lonely. And I can tell you that I myself got myself a group of guys together that we were chatting to each other and trading and that, but they kind of fell by the wayside, fell off the bus, don't trade anymore, So I've kind of been alone for quite a long time. It's kind of one of the reasons I started the YouTube channel, because it kind of makes me feel like I'm connecting with something or someone, It helped me a lot, to be honest, psychologically, to have something like this. Because you can't discuss trading with the family. You can't discuss even YouTube with the family because they don't know what you're doing, and most people don't understand it as well. I mean, if you go to the pub and they ask you, what do you do? And you say, I'm a trader, or you say, I make YouTube videos or anything like that, they're like, what the hell? Get a real job, It's very lonely. Very, very lonely. So it is good to meet other traders, but morning all, morning everyone. Hey, Kevin. Oh, Kevin's here. How's it, Kevin? Good to have you on board. Good to see you. Yes, Shane, I agree with you. Trading can be a very lonely game. I mean, what I would suggest, I don't want to do it here on the channel specifically for myself because I'd be inundated, but like someone like Kevin and Shane and maybe one or two guys, why don't you guys get a group together and chat to each other? You know, it's cool, like a WhatsApp or a Telegram group or something like that. In private, don't do it in public here. Do it in private, and then 4 or 5 guys. That's what I used to do when I was younger, and it kept me going. I'll let you know when I go visit my brother in New Zealand, maybe pop into Sydney. Yeah, Daniel, I was actually thinking of going to visit a good friend of mine one day there as well. He lives in Melbourne now, though. But it's okay, I could pop into Sydney. How far away is Sydney from Melbourne? I'm not sure. Nice to see some lady traders. That's okay to say. You know, Shane, it is nice to see lady traders. I agree with you. It is nice. It's good to see that everyone's getting involved. And I thought maybe we didn't have any ladies on my show because of my ugly mug. You know, maybe I'm scaring the people away. I don't know. Morning, Kevin. When I missed it, let's pay. Yes, be careful, Shane. We can upset the ladies. Are there any traders in Johannesburg? I don't know if they're on the show, but I used to know a lot of traders in Johannesburg. I lived up there for a while, and I survived it. Look, I'm still alive. Insane. So yeah, Vivian, good to have you on board, man. It's lekker. Elaine and Vivian. We've got Elaine and Vivian here. Yeah. Okay. Daniel, feel free to reach out. Hi, Vivian Young. That's why I love this video. So nice. I'm just going through all the comments here, guys. Hi, Rob, in your experience, are there any telltale signs to avoid getting trapped in a range? Okay, I'm going to have a look at that because that's a question not far. Okay, so Melbourne and Sydney are quite close, so that's good. So if I ever go there, yeah, we'll pop in. Okay, Kakaro, range. Look, if you're in a range, what you've got to be careful of with ranges. Let's talk a little bit about ranges because ranges are an interesting little entity. And I don't know what we've got in front of us here, but here's an example with Euro, Great British Pound, a bit of a range. So the problem with ranges is they resolve. And what you've got to know about a range is if something is coming down like this in a bearish phase or going up in a bullish phase into this, but in this case it's coming down, and it comes down into this range. This is a very short one, but sometimes it can go on forever, like the FTSE, for example. Maybe the FTSE's got a range at the moment. What you will find is it will normally resolve to the direction it was going in the first place before it entered the range. So if it's going up, I call it, I think the whole market calls it a flag pattern when it's going up and it goes sideways. When it's going down, I think we call it a pennant. It's just names. It doesn't really matter what it is. It goes into that range, and then it will normally resolve out of it and follow the same pattern. It's very seldom that you get a U shape or an N shape where it goes up and comes back down the same way in a range. If it ranges, it'll normally resolve the way it started out. So if it was going up and then it did a range, it probably resolved to the upside. If it's going down, it goes into a range, it'll probably resolve to the downside. That's not 100% though. It just is the majority of the time, let's say. Now, the only way to determine if it's going to break out of a range is if it breaks out of the range. You can't predict it. If it's in the range, it's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. So, that's the problem with the range. It's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up. And then you're going to be trading in that range and you're going to get confident in that range because it's staying in that range for, let's say it stays in there for weeks on end and you just keep on trading it. And then suddenly it breaks out. Well, that's why you've got to have a stop loss because when it breaks out and it breaks out solid. So, no, I can't, if it gets stuck in a range, it's actually great because you can trade the up and down beautifully. But, yeah, it can stay in a range for weeks. It can stay in a range for a few hours. It can stay in a range for a few days. There is no predictability on it. It's very difficult to predict what it's going to do. But what you can predict is that it'll probably, in all likelihood, resolve in the direction it started in. So you might feel more comfortable taking all the short trades on something that came in on the downside, because then it'll probably break to the downside and it'll take you with it. Okay, so that was for Kokoro there. You asked that question now. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so we talked a bit about the range now. Yeah. And okay, yeah, never force a trade. That's correct, Daniel. You can only trade what you see, and yesterday's loss doesn't matter. Put yesterday behind you. You know what I do, guys, when I take a loss? Well, as I used to tell you guys, is if I take 3 losses in a day, sometimes even 2, I actually pack it in. That's me. No more trades today. I don't care what's on the board. I'm out. Okay? Because my mindset's wrong. If I lose 3 trades in a day, my mindset's wrong. It doesn't matter whether I chose the trades or not. It's just that I've lost 3 trades. My mindset is not going to be right. It's probably going to be upset. It's probably going to be irritated. It's going to probably want to revenge trade or do something silly. So that's why I brought that rule in for myself, where I said, you know what? If I lose 3 trades in a day, walk away. Walk away, come back tomorrow. And tomorrow's a new day. It's amazing how you can have a sleep, wake up tomorrow all fresh and everything's changed. You don't feel so upset about the trades yesterday. You've put them behind you and you can start again. Just a few hours rest, it just takes it all out of your mind. Especially if, like in your case, Shan, I know you trade the lower time frames, especially in a case like that. Bom, bom, bom. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, Shane, you paid a bit of tax. One and done helped me a lot. I am never stop paying because you never stop making more money either. Daniel, thanks again. You see, the whole thing is, guys, as well, is like you said now, all right, you lose a few percent, and then you don't have to do the one and done that, because you know what's going to happen to you as well. Especially if you're trading on the lower time frames. You guys that trade on the lower time frames and you go for the 5 minutes and that, you're going to go in, you're going to lose a trade. So what's the next thing you do? You force another trade because you want to get the first one back. And then you got 2 losing trades. Now you go for the third one because you got to get the other 2 back. And then you lose that one as well. And then you head for the 4th one. Eventually you blow your account. So I don't say one and done. I mean, you can do a couple, but and that's actually a problem, the one and done. I'm not a big fan of it, because what actually happens is you go in, you take a trade, you make $200. I'm done for today. It might be one of those great days, like yesterday, for example, where you could have made much more, where you could have made $2,000 if you took a few more trades. So, and then the next day you get in and think, well, yesterday was good, maybe today will be good as well. So you get in today, and today's a bad day. And then you lose the $200 and you think, this is the problem. One and done. I'm not a big fan of it, because you get good days and you get bad days. And the problem with it is exactly what I say now. You go in, you win the one, and you're great with that, and you're like happy. I'm going to put that in the bank and I've made my money for today. You could have, there's a lot of money maybe left on the table because that was maybe a good run day. And like I say, the next day you give it all back. And then what then? And then you're like, okay, maybe I should take a second trade to try and get that back. And then you lose more. And then the one and done rule flies out the window because you lost the trade. I'm not a big fan of it. It is complicated, but yeah, I prefer, if you're on a winning run, take the winning run. I'm kind of more in that group. If I'm on a winning streak, then I stay with it, And if I'm on a losing streak, I walk away and get out. That's me, If if I lose, then I'm on a losing streak, then I'm going. But if I'm on a winning streak, I want to stay with it. I want to stay on it, man, because that's a good one. That's where you're doing well. Yeah, Shane, I don't know anyone who doesn't hate losing. I mean, another thing I've often said is, even if it's $1, even if it's just $1, okay, and you're starting out, it will make you sweat if you're losing. And nobody wants to lose, man. Losing is not the game. You're in here to win. You don't start trading to lose. Like I said earlier, you don't open a factory with a view to you're going to lose it. You open it with a view to you're going to make a load of profit and become a rich guy and make loads of money. Nobody wants to lose it, mate. Yeah, don't let it put you off, Kevin. Don't let it put you off too much. The news. Just trade what you see. Trade what you see. Take the trades, and try to. What I did at one stage when the news became too overwhelming for me years ago was I switched the news off completely, and I just concentrated on the charts, which is really difficult to do, especially when you know a lot about fundamentals, and because it's not something you're supposed to do either. But I did that, and that sort of clears your mind up, and you start trading what you see. But yeah, the news can drive you. But the news at the moment is just saying it's driving everybody around. And how's it, Brummy? Every bad trade brings us closer to a good trade. Well, I would hope so. It's a learning curve, but the trouble with trading, you gain experience over the years and you do learn, but it always remains 50-50. What you learn is you learn how to lose. Once you learn how to take the losses, the wins come easier, because then you understand that the aha moment comes to you, that it's strategy, not system. And then you understand that you are going to lose more than you win. And then it starts to become more logical to you. And what it also teaches you to do is to invest in the markets and buy shares, because then you know that that's going to be fine. I invested at the beginning of the month, and I haven't even looked at how my investments are doing since that time. Investing is an insane thing. I taught myself, buy it, don't even look, forget about it. You sit looking at it every day, it's going to drive you insane. And when I look at the end of the month, it's all up, and I'm like, oh, look at that. It's like a nice surprise. I don't want to be surprised the other way, but okay, so you went live and you've dumped £1,500 already. Ugh. As Daniel says, yeah, people don't fail because they don't know enough. They fail because they don't know what the market's doing to their minds. And I don't trade until I see all the signs going to work out, and I don't always see that, so I try to sit on my hands. Patience is the best thing to learn, Kevin. I'm really glad you said that, because that means you're so far ahead already. You've learned that patience is one of the most important factors in trading. But now what you've got to be careful of is not being able to take the trade. Patience is the most important factor, but the next most important factor is being able to click the button and take the trade. So you might be missing out by being too patient sometimes. So just watch out for that as well. I was doing well with my demo account, however, pulled. It's funny. How is that, Brummy? Isn't that the funniest thing? You'll have a demo account and you'll make all this money. And you'll be so successful in your demo account. You'll go and do a course and you'll pass the course with flying colors, because, do you know what? Trading's easy. Trading's insanely easy. Actual trading. It's a buy or a sell. You've got two choices to make effectively. Your choice is buy it or sell it. And it's not hard. You know, you can put a line in place and say, I'm going to buy above that line, I'm going to sell below that line. That's it. That's trading. What's difficult is money, psychology, mental state, being able to run those trades, being able to take those trades, being able to manage those trades, having a business plan, having a strategy, having a stop loss strategy, being able to not move the stop loss out of the way, not dollar cost average, being able to take profits when profits are due and not before. Those are the things that you have to get around. Sitting on your hands and being patient, that's important. You have to learn to do that. Fear of missing out. Get over the fear of missing out. Get over fear. Fear is one of the biggest ones. You know, and if you're being patient and you need to take a trade, you've got to find the balance between being patient and taking the trade. That is also important. When you see the trade and it's there and it's staring you in the face and it's saying, hey, I'm a trade, take me, then you take it. Don't leave it. Don't go, oh, I'll just wait. Take it. Take the trade. It's there for you. It's there. It's waiting for you. It's saying, I'm here. Take me. I'm a trade. Okay. So there's a big balance there. And yeah, it's a heavy balance. But the funny thing is, like you say, Brahmi, you know, you go from demo, it all looks easy. And then you go real, and suddenly it becomes a totally different game. One of the big things to do is watch how much you're trading. Watch the amount that you're putting in and risking. How much are you risking on your trades? Are you comfortable with the risk that you're putting on your trades? And don't put more risk on because you lost the trade before to try and get the one after back. Keep the risk the same. But you don't have to trade 1%. If you want to trade less, you can. If you're not comfortable, let's say you've opened a $10,000 account, or you won a two-step challenge $10,000 account from Fund Your FX here on Thursday with me on the live show, and you're like, oh, I got this account now. Now I must trade 1% on every trade, and every trade's $100 risk. Okay? And then you can't sleep at night because of that $100 risk, or you can't leave the computer, or you can't leave the trade on. There's $100 risk. You're like, I've risked $100. I'm going to lose my account. Then all you do is you reduce it to $50. It's not rocket science. It's not difficult. Just reduce it, guys. Just take it down and say, am I comfortable risking $50? I feel much more comfortable with that because if I lose that, I'm not going to blow the account. It's going to be fine. I can go do my thing and the account will be just fine. If that makes you feel comfortable with your account, then that's what you need to do. Drop the risk and then start playing from there. Start building it up from there. Once you feel comfortable with that and you've done it for a while, you'll lift it and you'll increase it. And then you'll realize that at the end of the day, all you've got to do is keep the risk the same, lose less there, and try and make more on the profits. And then you'll start, once you start winning, you start seeing the winning coming in, and you'll start raising the risk amount and you'll feel more comfortable with it as well. It's a strategic concept, let's say. Yeah, it's amazing how you would be $75 down, Daniel, and then you're only making $10. That just, yeah, it feels unfair, doesn't it? Like, why couldn't I be $75 up? And then you start thinking to yourself, Shane, you're the one that would know how this feels because you always say, go the opposite to me. But there are times in your trading when you think, I'm losing more trades than I'm winning. Maybe I should just do the opposite to what I want to do every single trade. And then I'll win more than I'm losing because clearly that's what's going on, you know? Sometimes you start thinking that way. You look at the trade and you think, I'm going to go long here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go short because every time I go long, I lose. So I'm going to go short. You know, it's just, your brain starts telling you that. Just do the opposite to what you're thinking because obviously you're getting it the wrong way around. You know, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. I knew one friend that used to do that. He would pick a trade and say, this is the perfect trade. I'm going the other way. You know, and he actually did okay out of it, to be honest with you, because the market's 50-50. At the end of the day, as long as you have a strategy, it doesn't matter. You know, and if that's your strategy to say, this looks long, so I'm going to go short. If that's your strategy, so be it. And it's going to work out the same way at the end of the day. You're going to take 10 trades, you're going to lose 5, you're going to win 5. That's it. 1%, £200, but I moved my stop loss. That's where this started going wrong, I think. Yep, you moved your stop loss. That's the problem as well. That's something that we all do. Now, we've all done it. I could write a book about it, moving stop loss. The trick to stop loss is only move it into profit. Like, for example, this Brent crude oil trade, I've moved it into profit. If I lose this Brent crude oil trade, I make $46, okay, on this trade. It's in profit. The stop loss is in profit. I've moved the stop loss up, not down. If it had gone into loss and then you move the stop loss away, then you're going to lose more than you expected to in the first place. If you plan to make a loss, stick to that plan. Why would you move your stop loss away? You've chosen that area as your stop loss for a reason. Why did you choose that area? Did you just go, willy-nilly, I'll just put my stop loss there because it's $50 away? No. You put it in an area where you know if the trade gets there, it's a rubbish trade. That's why you put the stop loss there. Don't move it. Don't move it down. You can move it up. You can move it up to cost, and you can, so this trade now for me is free. This Brent crude oil trade is completely free. That's how I look at it psychologically. I don't look at it as, I could have made $130 yesterday, and I should have got out, and wow, why didn't I take the profit? I look at it as this trade is now completely free to me. In fact, it'll make me $40 if it goes pear-shaped. That's the way I look at this trade. And if it goes for me, I'm going to make a profit. That's how I look at the trade now. I don't look at it as, oh no, if it goes out at break even, I've lost all that. No, I haven't lost anything. In fact, I'm in a profit. So I don't care. But if you move the stop loss away on the losing side, then you're looking for trouble. Then you obviously, going to take bigger losses somewhere down the line. And that's not good for anyone. Oh, Shayna, you're good at IT. Ha! Now we all know. Yeah. Yep, the real boss, as I call it, the government, Kevin, the government. When anybody asks me, Rob, do you want to do this X, Y, and Z? I say, I just got to confirm it with the government first. And then I'll know that it's good. Yeah, the government, the real boss, the person in charge. Just got to run it through the government there. Yeah, no, totally. He says they've been currency trading and keep getting out of the trade because of the tick at the end of the day goes crazy. So what time frame are you trading on that you're getting kicked out at the end of the day? What time frame is that? Because I think if you're trading on the 4-hour, you shouldn't be getting kicked out of your trades. Maybe you're trading on a 1 minute or a 5 minute, I don't know, but on a 4-hour, you shouldn't be getting kicked out of currency trades, that's for sure. Currency is just like everything else, Look at this US dollar, Canadian dollar. This is a trade that we've got in place. We've got this trade long. We've taken the trade long. This one's stop loss is also in profit or at break even, so it's costing me nothing. But yeah, actually, why is it so high up? It should be down here. Goodness me. I want to get taken out of the trade, man. It's going up, it's going in the right direction, and the stop loss is break even, so it's totally free. And it doesn't take me out at the end of the day. I'm on a 4-hour chart. This is currency, US dollar, Canadian dollar, or yeah, it's US dollar CAD. That shouldn't be taking you out. I think it's the time frame that you're trading on there, T. I was watching and it started going the wrong way. Oh, after this 3 times. Yeah, yeah, okay. That's another thing, bro. Oh, wow. Okay. When you say traded 3 times, that means you got in probably close to a news event. That's another thing that's coming this week, CPI and all that. You probably got in close to a news event. So you might be, let's say you're long on a trade and it starts going short. So you get out and you go short. And then it starts going long. So you get out and you go long again. And then you get all confused. Be careful of that. Careful of that. Or you just take a trade 3 times because you're just going back and forward with it. If you choose a product and you say, I'm going to trade on it, and I'm going to take a trade on that now, only take one trade on it. Just make your decision. That's your trade. End of story. If it goes wrong, it's gone wrong, then look for a new trade. Whether it be on the same product or another product, look for a completely new trade on it. Look at it from a completely new perspective. Forget about the old trade. Forget about what happened with the old trade, whether it was long, short, sideways, whatever. Just forget about it totally and look at the picture from a fresh perspective and start again. Start from scratch. Don't continue a trade from where you were, because you get married to trades. And this is a big problem. You get married to trades. You start believing in them. Look, I've taken a number of Brent trades in the last few weeks, okay? But I didn't get married to it. I just do believe that it's going to go long. So I'm married to the idea that Brent's going to go long. And it kind of beat me a couple of times. So you got to be careful of that. You get married to an idea that's like you say, gold's going to 7,000, and then you believe that gold's going long forever, and you will never take a short trade. You're always going to take a long trade on it, and all the short trades are going to knock you off your pedestal. You get married to products, you do, and you got to be careful of that. So you trade it 3 times, 4 times in a row. Yeah. Trade smaller amounts, yeah. You don't have to trade smaller amounts, you just mustn't overtrade it. You know, if you take a trade and you lose it, take the loss, start again, new trade. Even if it's on the same product, new trade. Don't try and bounce the trade. Don't try and keep jumping it. It's going to hurt you every single time. That's a fact. That's a fact. I've seen that quite often. All the traders in the world, all the traders, every trader does the same things. Everybody does the same things. Everybody goes through the same process. I'm sitting here talking to you guys in the hopes that maybe you'll pick something up from me, that the mistakes that I've made, and maybe you won't make the same mistakes, but you probably will. You probably will, because we all do. We all go through it. I mean, I had people helping me and mentoring me in the beginning and giving me advice and whatnot. And did I listen carefully? Probably not. I made all the same mistakes. Why? I don't know. Human nature. The biggest thing that we find hard to believe in trading is that it's psychology. That's the biggest thing we find hard to believe in trading. I see seasoned pros, people out there with immense knowledge of trading that still don't get it, still don't believe it. They make money, they do well off their systems and all the rest of it, but they still can't grasp that it's actually psychology that makes the difference. They still can't grasp that it's a 50-50, that there's no way you can possibly tell which way something's going to go for sure. The only way that you can be really successful in markets is to be an investor. In other words, to buy and forget, like I do on my investment account. Like I said to you, I invested in it on the 1st or 2nd of this month, and I haven't even looked at my account. I don't even know what it's on. I don't know what it's doing. I must actually go and check, to be honest with you, and go and see. But I know it's going to be fine because I'm buying shares there and they're paying me dividends and whatnot. It's the one place, if you've got loads of money, that you can put money and just relax. And over the years, it just grows and it builds and it becomes more and more. Most of my income comes from investments in shares, not trading. Trading gives me money. It brings me profits on an annual basis, and it's a bit of fun. And I love trading. But the real money comes from the investments. And that's a disclaimer, just so you guys know. Trading is hard. And you can make money out of trading, but it's difficult to rely on it. You have bad years, you have good years. And timing the market, it's time in the market that will make you the money properly at the end of the day. If you want good financial advice, I don't give advice, but if you ever wanted good financial advice, that would be it. Just invest in shares, forget about them. But if you want to trade and you want to have a bit of fun, then you're in the right place, because this is what we do. We trade and we have a bit of fun, and we trade the markets. Because it keeps us sane. That's why we end up trading 5-minute charts, is because we get bored. We are not patient. Patience is a big problem with human beings. We can't sit here and be patient. You're sitting here like, oh man, what am I going to do? Look at the size of that candle. It's going to drive me insane. It's going nowhere on a 4-hour chart. So I tell you what, let's go and trade on the 5-minute charts. Then we can get some action. Look at that. There's some action, man. Then you can watch it go up and down. Nah, even better. Let's go to the 1-minute charts. Look at that. Now you've got some real action. That'll keep your mind occupied. Now you can play. I guess it can also give you a heart attack if it goes the wrong way. Or if it does the opposite to what you want it to. But there are guys who love trading on this because it's moving around and it's doing something. And if I was going to trade on this 5-minute chart, what would I do? This is a long trade, but it's going to go and it's going to hit this level, and it's probably going to go short for a while. And it's going to come back. Look at that. It's hit the level already. It's starting to go short. Look how quickly it turned short. As I said, it goes short. So we should have traded that, and then we would have got a short, and it'll probably come down, take the money again, and go long. It's bouncing around. It's a 5-minute chart. That's why I stick to the H4. But now if you're on the H4, imagine how bored you're going to get because of this. Look at that. It's a tiny little candle. It's going nowhere. If you look at it on the 5-minute, it's huge. Massive. So yeah, we get bored, and then we do things like that. Doing my top-down analysis on daily 4 hours and 1 hour. So my rules for entering are 1, at least 2 time frames in sync bullish or bearish daily, 4 hour, 2 both daily, 4 hour and 1 hour candles, green or red, 3 time frames above or below the 21, 100, 200 EMA. Entering on the 1 hour, what do you think? Okay, I'm not long into this trading journey, so I'm taking it very small, and to look at other trades like Tory Trades, Rajat Banks. just to learn from a wide variety of people with different strategies. That's fantastic. That's what I've said you guys should do, Kevin. You know, everyone that's giving information on, for example, YouTube or the internet or wherever, whether they flashing Lamborghinis or not, or doing whatever, they've all got something to offer. There's always something in there that you can learn. And there's some good information available. You'll find that quite a few of us trade the same way, most likely, in the end. But if you put it together, you can pick out the best and the best that works for you. And the best way to start is to start small and to work your way along as you go. As for Brummy, your rules, trading on the 1 hour is fine. That's up to you. If you feel you want to trade on the 1 hour, that's great. Taking your levels, I normally take my levels from the day or the weekly chart. The weekly chart just gives me an overall direction of the product. The daily chart gives me an idea what's happening for the next week or so and where the levels are. And I like to trade on the 4 hour because it just gives me time and relaxation. But the 1 hour is more than fine. You can trade on the 1 hour. It's not going to be that much different. And the 1 hour is fine. But for me, you know, I like to do things out there and whatnot. And 1 hour, nothing wrong. 1 hour will work for you. You'll be okay on the 1 hour. This is when you start dropping to the 5 minutes that you're gonna see the pain. And if you want to look for sniper entries, you can look for it sort of down to the 15-minute, 30-minute. But I don't buy big into sniper entries. I just look for my entry on the time frame that I'm on. I might drop one time frame and just see what it looks like. But like here, I might drop to the H1 and just see, oh, how's that look? How's it looking? Which way is it going? But further than that, I just trade it on the 4 hour, what I see, put it in, let it go, you know, and it's fine. Yeah, exactly what Kevin says there is the computer can suck you in. And you get stuck in front of the charts all day. That's why I trade the 4 hour, so I can walk away. I do not want to be stuck in front of my computer all day, as far as I can help it. And even if I make these videos for you guys and I have to be at my computer, I don't mind because that's time out of my day, then I'll go and do it. But yeah, sitting watching charts all day, it can suck you in. It's addictive as well, and it can suck you in, and you can start making mistakes. It's actually better to walk away, get a clear mind, let it carry on. I just got news. New Zealand dollar, US dollar is on the downside. New Zealand dollar, US dollar is on the down. Let's have a look quickly. New Zealand dollar, US dollar heading down. I thought it might bounce up. It looks like it's bouncing up to me. What kind of news is that? Like way past it. No, that looks fine to me. It looks like it's bouncing upwards. Okay, it's hit that level there. Let's just see if it breaks through there. If it breaks through that yellow level there, it's actually long. Nothing wrong with it. You know what you could do here is just draw a trend line in, make yourself more comfortable. Guess it's not going to let me out. Let's do that. And then you can just see if it breaks to the upside. That's neither here nor there. New Zealand dollar, US dollar looks reasonably long to me. Why are they sending news? New Zealand dollar, US dollar going down. It's not going down. The long lost question. I get this question quite often. How long do you stay in a trade? And everybody's going to have a good laugh. But sorry, I don't mean anything about it. But I always say, how long is a string? And the reason I say that is you stay in the trade as long as you need to stay in the trade. End of story. There's no time limit. you don't put time limits on things. The minute you start putting time limits, then you're not trading to make a profit. You're trying to trade within a time frame. And that's not what we do. You take a trade with a view to make a profit. So for example, I've taken a trade on Brent here on this account for us. And if you guys have got any trades that you're looking at, let me know so we can put it on here. I don't care if this makes me a profit today or if it makes me a profit in a week's time. As long as it makes me a profit, that's all I care about. So it's bubbling along and it's taking its time. But I will answer your question, and in the sense that the average time that you might stay in a trade on a 4-hour trading schedule is somewhere between a day and 3 days. Okay. There are trades that sometimes you stay in for a week or more, but in general on the 4-hour charts, you'll end up sometimes a couple of days, sometimes 3 or 4 days, that sort of scenario. But yeah, that question I always say, how long is a string? It's there is no definitive answer as to how long you stay in a trade. Okay. There you go. As Daniel answered immediately, as long as it takes. Yeah, it's as long as it takes to make you the money. The whole point of the trade, for example, is to try and get the take profit. Is to try and hit the take profit. So you don't know how long it's going to take to get there. Nobody knows how long it's going to take to get there. But that's your target. All you need in trading is, number one, your job is to look for the liquidity, to look for the money. So you're searching out the liquidity so that you can take the trade. So you find the liquidity and you say, well, that's where I want to take my trade. Then you're looking for the direction that you want to go in. So it's buy or sell. There's only 2 ways to go, buy or sell. And then the only other thing you're looking for in trading is, where's my take profit? Where's my stop loss? You don't need anything else. That's all you need. And then how long is it going to take? Well, it also depends what time frame you're on, how long it's going to take, and it also depends on the market. Because sometimes a market like this, for example, let's say you're trading on the US 500 and you long and you want it to get to 6,000. Donald could stand up today and say something incredibly silly and send it back to 5,500, or he could stand up and it could send it to 6,000 just by saying something, and that would happen in one day. Or nothing could happen for the next 3 days, and you'll be sitting in the trade going, oh, where's it going? And you get those little dots. If you look on the daily chart and you get those little dots, you're like, oh my goodness, when is this ever going to get somewhere? And then suddenly it goes like something like that. This insane candle goes up. Yeah, that's trading. That's why I say, look at all these small candles going down, all these small candles going up, all these small, and then suddenly you get this insane candle going up. That's trading. It doesn't give you a hint as to how long it's going to be. Hi, Luigi. Good to see you again. Great to have you on board. Yep, don't forget to grow the channel. The channel was growing quite well last year. This year it's going a bit slow, but I don't mind. I'm focusing on it, and I'm looking forward to getting to a point. You know what my target is, guys? Is to get one of those silver buttons that I can put behind me here. This is a challenge for me. This YouTube thing is a big challenge for me. And I'm going to show people that I can succeed at YouTube, even at my age. And I can make it work as well and be a great channel. And even doing the real thing, not, well, I don't want to say the word bullshitting, but yeah, you guys, I don't telling you guys how it is and the way it is. Because I could sit here and put pictures of Lamborghinis and stuff behind me and make a big show and what have you. And I'd probably have a channel that's got hundreds of thousands of subs already. But I don't want to do that. We'll take it slow and we'll do it properly and we'll have a real channel. But yeah, I'm quite chuffed with the way things have gone with the channel, and quite impressed that it's growing nicely as it is. It's fun. It's fun to make something work. It's like building something, and then it comes out at the end, and you're looking at what your achievement, what you've done. It's great. It's absolutely marvelous. You know, because just to sit trading every day, because uh, I don't have other businesses at the moment and what have you. So just the trading, and it gets kind of lonely. It gets kind of boring as well sometimes, and I go and do other things and what have you. So yeah, trading's boring, guys. By the way, if you're making money, trading's boring. It's not exciting, eh? Okay, so it's addictive and it's great and it's fun, but it's also boring and lonely. The YouTube keeps me going, man. Keeps me excited. Because at my age, I don't really want to go and start any other businesses that are going to keep me excited. So this is fine. The Donald is off to Saudi, I think. A journey, yeah. Well, when I say challenge, a journey, it's actually a journey, I guess. Yeah, it's a fun journey, and yeah, I think Daniel, I think it's human nature, isn't it, to enjoy that journey to something, to achieve something, and I think it's human nature. 20 degrees in Scotland. It's like it's a heat wave, man. Kevin, 20 degrees here is winter. It's winter now. You'll see. Long sleeve shirt. It's winter. I'm still wearing shorts, by the way. But it's winter here, yeah. We've hit winter. Boom. There we go. But it's not that cold. People cry about cold, yeah. Try Scotland. 20 degrees, hot summer's day. For me, 20 degrees is winter, man. But I love Cape Town because, Cape Town, it's basically the average temperature here all year round. If you were to work it all out, we're like at 24 degrees right through the year. It's like amazing. And then we get the odd 32-degree day and the odd 12-degree day. It's no big deal. We never really go much below 4 degrees or 5 degrees, even in the morning, at night. When I lived in Gauteng, up in Joburg, Pretoria, for a while, gee, I tell you what, used to freeze in the morning, man, below zero and all that. Then in the summer, we'd get 45-degree temperatures. There was one time I used to have a store in the north of Pretoria, and I'd go there and park the car, and I used to think the tires were going to melt. And then I went and measured the temperature on the tire outside just to see for fun. It was like 70 degrees Celsius in the sun. Oh, I tell you what, that doesn't happen in Cape Town. We don't get that. But we do have an insane UV level for some reason. I mean, we all tan quite a lot here, just walking around. It's funny. We don't just like if you go up north, you just burn. But yeah, there's like an insane UV thing here. We love journeys, we hate challenges. I love that, Daniel. Yeah, thanks, Luigi. I appreciate the compliment. Very few channels like mine. But it's quite a journey, as Daniel puts it, journey. When you're doing it real, it's going to take a long time because people prefer the BS, to be honest with you. At this point, we have with a silver bullet. Yeah, but then there'd have to be werewolves if there were silver bullets. Yeah, get that vitamin D, Kevin. Get that vitamin D. It doesn't come around often in Scotland. UK baking hot. So yeah, baking hot's 20 degrees, man, in the UK. Yeah. Okay. Shane's back. 160 Fahrenheit in my conservatory broke my thermometer. Wow, that's insane. Okay, so you're bored because you're good at it, Rob. One day I'll be happy with being bored all day long. But that's the point. After many years, I mean, can you imagine trading or dealing with trading or looking at charts and stuff for 30 years? Can you imagine that? That's me. Okay. I've been doing this since it's actually more than 30 years, guys, but I'm giving away my age, but I've been doing this since I was about 26 or 27 years old. So it's far more than 30 years. But it's insane. Okay. But I've had businesses in between and other things that I've done to keep me busy and what have you while growing investments and things. And so at least it wasn't that bad. But every time I always settle back just sitting with the trading. And if you've been doing it that long, it becomes pretty boring, but still addictive. You still go back to it. It's like riding a motorbike. You always go back. You still trade it. You still enjoy it. So it's, I would actually have a business running and I'd have a laptop with my trades on right there, as well. So all the years, I've always had the trading going, ongoing. And you get to a point where it's kind of second nature. You'll get to that point. And that's why now I've actually got the YouTube channel, because it gives me something to occupy my mind a bit and make me excited, keep me busy, and, makes new friends like you guys. It's great. It takes the loneliness away. It does take the loneliness away because you meet people, you get to know other people out of your circle. Obviously, I do have a lot of friends around here in Cape Town, but keeps you out of the pubs as well. Yeah. 21 that's winter for us, bro. 21. Gosh. Scotland, God's country. I love it. About to do the NT500 in my camper. I'll tell you what, I have to go back to Scotland one day. I was born there, and my parents were Scottish, and I grew up with a Scottish culture, but I grew up in Africa. So, but yeah, I remember when I went to school. I don't know how you are in Scotland, Kevin, but when I went to school, I thought I was speaking English and that nobody could understand me, because I went to school here in South Africa. I was a kid, and teacher asked me, would I mind speaking English? I said, but I am. Yeah, those days. Gosh. So I rerouted my skills in English completely, changed a lot of words as well. Yeah. Algos are throwing stuff at me every day. Platforms, broker, traders, badness without the AI stuff. I'll tell you what, Kevin, I actually sometimes think they're listening to us, because I'll have a look at something online that I want to buy, or I'll talk to my wife and say, I'd be interested in this sort of thing. Next thing, I'm getting adverts all over my phones, my computers. It's like just throwing it at me. And I'm sure I didn't even type that in. I just spoke about it. Are they listening to me? It's crazy, eh? Absolutely crazy. I get you, Kevin. It's crazy. Training lets you do it. I use GP chat. Training view lets you do it. Oh, I mean, that will be great as long as you have the internet up there for trading on the move. Lol. The phones do listen. You say your son's a computer programmer. That's interesting. I got a nephew in America who's a computer programmer, but I don't speak to him much, so I haven't asked him that question. my son did study a bit in computers, but then he went into photography and editing and all that sort of stuff. So now he's like doing all that stuff. But going through the charts, looking for setup, nothing meeting my rules. The phones listen to it. Yeah, I kind of get that feeling that they're listening to me for sure, because, you know, I say things and suddenly I'm getting adverts and I think, oh, that's kind of weird. You know, I'm pretty sure I didn't like request anything off Google or anything like that. And suddenly there's all these ads. I think, wow, that's insanity, you know. Yeah. But boom, boom. Yeah, if nothing's meeting your rules, Brummy, if nothing's meeting what you want to do, then don't trade. What I do find is often you walk away and come back and then it's done what you wanted it to do in the first place. So maybe just put alerts in place that will maybe come through to your phone. And then if the alerts come through, then you know it's going in the direction you were expecting it to. But yeah, I'm looking at these charts today and there's really nothing for us to buy. Sorry. At the moment, this New Zealand dollar, US dollar, I would buy this when it breaks through that level. Rent we already own. So I'm hoping that it'll break through that level. US 500, I kind of missed the bus here when it made that gap. I'm waiting for it to come back before I buy it. Germany 30, that could be a buy. That could be a buy today, the DAX. I did call it. And it is running along this line, so that could be a good buy. US dollar, Canadian dollar, but with CPI coming out, who knows? US dollar, Canadian dollar looks, well, we already own that. But that's a long. I'm already in it. Gold, bit of a short there, but I'm waiting for it to break through here and go long. I'm waiting for a long trade if it breaks through that. So there's a trade if it goes up and goes green and breaks through here, but I see it's starting to give a red candle, which is not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. I'd want to see a green candle push through here, and then you get a nice long trade on gold. And then, of course, there's a CHF JPY. I was waiting for it to break to the downside. And what does it do? It goes to the upside, but there's a strong resistance here. So this is more likely going to go short eventually. I'll just wait for it to break through that level as well. So yeah, there's no trades at the moment. There's nothing pointing itself out at the moment. There's a whole bunch of other trades here to look at as well. But there is nothing at the moment that's saying, trade me, trade me. So we'll just wait and see what happens. See where we go. Yeah. Sometimes say things, the next thing Siri responds, but Siri's listening to you all the time, eh? Siri just jumps out your phone like. Yeah, I stick to Siri because otherwise Alexa's going to get jealous. If I was to get a different phone now, Alexa would get jealous. So I'll just stick to Siri. It's fine. Daniel, if you're off, don't forget to pop round on Thursday. Thursday, we're going to have the live draw again, eh? And drop the comments on the video so that you can be part of it. And maybe you'll win a free challenge account. Okay. I'm also going to shut down soon. So if you guys are on your way, that's great. I need the sun on the back. See you all Thursday. I'm not out in the sunshine. Absolutely marvelous. Switch off Google privacy mic is on. That's why. Google privacy mic. You know, I think I know a lot about computers and that, but that one's got me. How do I switch it off? Is it on the phone somewhere? I really don't know. Yeah. I'm kind of one of those guys who believes, you know, with these theories that everyone's watching you and, you know, everybody's got their eye on you and everyone's listening to you. I'm kind of one of those guys who's like, I believe that I'm so minute in this world that, they're not interested in me at all. They might try and sell me something, send me some adverts, that sort of thing. But if they're watching me, good luck to them. There's nothing to see, not doing anything untoward, and I'm not big enough in the world to be of any great use to them, like Bill Gates or something like that. So Richard Branson or Elon Musk or any of those guys. I'm just Rob. So if they want to watch me, it's fine. I don't mind. It doesn't matter to me. Might be a good thing, in the long run. If something happens, something I thought about recently was, in today's day and age, if something happens to one of your children, or even though they're older or whatever, or one of your family members or whatever, what an amazing time to live in. Because we've literally got technology that people carry around with them, and you can probably determine where their last spot was, where they are, whatever the case, that can find them. It's probably a good thing. And there's so many cameras around these days that people are probably safer than they ever were before, in the sense that criminals are scared to do anything now because they're being watched. So in that sense of the light, I'm not too worried about it. It's actually probably a better thing. Some people will disagree with me, but I look at it and I think, sometimes I think maybe your children are safer with that scenario. I think the people that are worried about it are probably people that have got something to hide. Shane says long-term short US dollar JPY. Okay. Long-term short US dollar JPY. There it is. US dollar JPY. I like your thinking, but let me show you what we're going to do on this one. Let's take this out. Take this out. It's in the way. There's your level at the top here. There's a big resistance level there. There's a big move over here. There's obviously money lying in that area. And also a gap. Ooh, nasty gap at that. Just going to make that a bit lighter. So you probably find that that's going to come down into that level and take that money. So that's a pretty interesting short, actually. But what I'm going to say is, let's wait until it. Ooh, what am I doing? Moving the chart around a lot, eh? Right, I need to go and buy myself a new mouse. That's what I need to do. I think I'm going to go and do that tomorrow, because this mouse is giving me a real headache. Seriously. Okay, there we go. That trend is in place. So it really needs to break that trend, most likely. You can trade it from here. It is pretty good short off of this level, but it might actually go all the way into the level. I think if it goes all the way into the level, which in all likelihood it might do, it probably go up into this level and we take the short and go down. It'll probably be a really good short, because then what's it going to do? It's probably going to come down from there, break through here, and head down to this level here, which is pretty good. I like this trade. It's not bad, but it's not ready as well. We have to wait for it. Boom, 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 boom. Go to settings, privacy. Thanks, Promi. I'll have a look. I'll definitely have a look, because it is kind of driving me insane, but it doesn't bother me that much, like I say. You got an Apple mouse and it's terrible. Actually, I'm using a really old mouse, a Microsoft mouse. I'm using a Microsoft mouse. And I've been using it for years, but now the buttons are starting to... I know you're supposed to clean it out and that, but I'm like, going to go and buy another one. Seriously. They're collecting data. It's big money. Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. I think they're collecting data and making big money out of it. Weekly. US dollar, JPY weekly on the C trader. Did we trade this the other day? We must have. Okay. Yeah. And it's reaching that level. It's quite an important level. And it has to stay in the weekly. It has to stay in this range actually. But yeah, I'd say. I'll tell you what, Shane. Did you see this? Do you see what I'm looking at here on the weekly? Now I'm talking to you, and it just hit me in the face. There's a shoulder. There's a head. There's a shoulder. If it doesn't break that shoulder, wow, we've got a trade here which could be insane on the long term. Most likely, this thing's going to take us down to horrible levels. I'd say probably down here at this low. Down here. That head and shoulder. So if this thing breaks down below that head and shoulders, it's going to head far down. It's a hell of a fall. Wow. That would be an insane fall. But it's not to say that's going to happen. It could just be that it breaks to the upside. You never know. But let's see if it hits that and comes down. But yeah, that is quite a big on the weekly. That's quite a biggie on the weekly. There's another small head and shoulders on the daily, which has played out. I think it might hit that and come down. I think it's about to come down. And I think it's about to come down hard. Yeah. US dollar, Japanese yen. It's something you could take a punt on. And say, that looks like a trade. It might well be worth the while. End of the day. That looks like a good trade. 110. I'd probably get to 120 odd or something like that. And then say, I'm done, I've had enough. But yeah, it does certainly look like it looks like a definite for the trade. Maybe even tomorrow morning or something like that. I just wonder, yeah, we just got to keep an eye on this. I think that's it. We keep an eye on it and just see what it does. I like it. That looks like a really big trade. No, but in this case, Shane, I like it. I think it could be something. There could be something in there. A really long-term one. I hope it isn't caused by some immense big problem in the world or something. It causes problems everywhere else. But yeah, let's keep an eye on it. Let's see what it does. That does look good. That does look like a good trade. So it's been an interesting show. And don't forget, guys, Wednesday, this was the last week's winner, Jason De La Cruz. He had a good run. He got himself a wee count. Maybe on Thursday, it could be you. So we'll have a bit of fun. We'll do a draw there as well. I'm going to head on my way now. Look, trading is a bit slow, so I'm going to hit the road. And thanks for being here, guys. I know a couple of you guys also want to hit the road and do your thing. So let's do that. And we'll definitely keep the US dollar JPY on the watch list. I don't think we'll trade it yet. I think we'll wait a bit and just see what it does. Hopefully we don't miss it. But it looks like an interesting trade. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. And don't forget to come back and watch the other videos. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Join us on Thursday for the next live show if you guys are the guys that like the live shows. And I'll see you then. For those of you who are not members, don't forget, we have a membership as well. It supports the channel. I'll chat to you guys soon. Thanks. Cheers. Ciao.